Come. Yes, this is Arizona. Hey there guys, today is our second significant snowfall of 2019. We are probably about 5 inches so far, and it's looking like it's going to snow the rest of the day, so hopefully we might get 7 or 8 inches. But anyway, I figured it would be a good opportunity to show you a little bit of the uniqueness of Arizona, in that sometimes we do get snowfall and it is cold versus warm. So I'm going to walk you around, show you some of the projects that you've seen before with snow on them. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of perspective, this first shot is with my house in the background. I figured this was a good view to give you a really good look at how much snow is falling. Like I said in the intro, I think we've got about 4 or 5 inches so far, but I will start out with the rain roof, since this is one of the farthest projects from the house. As you can see, it's got snow all over it, not a whole lot of snow underneath it, and it has been collecting water really well. I'm definitely short on capacity, which is the IBC totes down there, and I'll walk you down there now. Yes, if you're wondering, I did put on a jacket. I figured it'd be pretty funny to do the intro in shorts and a shirt, since that's what I normally wear in my videos. And if you don't believe I'm wearing shorts, there's proof. So anyway, I'm down at the lower end of the rainwater garden with the IBC totes and the ponds. I'll put a link if you want to check out that video. But these ponds have been full pretty much since the monsoon season, and I have only had to draw off of the IBC totes probably 2 times to water my peach trees. And honestly, the rest of the time the IBC totes have just been overflowing. But here is a look at the ponds. They're pretty much slushy ice right now. And there is the second pond. I don't know what else there is really to show you, other than the fact that the peach trees are pretty much looking like sticks right now. But I think we'll walk on to something else. This right here is my dirt driveway. This is what collects all of the rainwater runoff that eventually flows into my rainwater garden ponds, which you just saw. There's not really much to this other than the fact I thought it was just another cool view. That's my house in the background. And I think we'll walk up to the shop and the playhouse now. Or actually maybe the chicken coop. Almost to the greenhouse now. I'm sure many of you will be asking if I have fixed the hail damage. I know it seems crazy, but no, I have not. It's kind of more of an insurance thing, and waiting on various things that have to do with my house roof and some of the other things, but I'm hoping to fix it here in the next few weeks. But anyway, there's a look at the greenhouse. You can see some of the areas where the greenhouse roofing had broken and the snow is kind of poking through. Anyway, still a cool look at the greenhouse. Inside, there's no plants because I haven't repaired it yet. I'll walk you down to the chicken coop now. On the way to the chicken coop, I haven't really been showing much of my garden recently, but I'll just give you a little bit of a close shot. You can't really see any of the plants in there because they're either covered up with sheets or there's nothing growing in the beds. But we do have some broccoli, onions, and a few of the winter greens you can see in that far off bed. And I'll probably take the camera and just give a close-up shot right now. But not a whole lot going in there. Fruit trees and everything else is pretty much dormant. Moving on from the garden, we'll go on over to the chicken coop. I don't think you're gonna see any of the girls out. They're pretty much desert birds and they are holed up inside the coop, but you can see it's collecting quite a bit of snow, and I think it just looks pretty darn cool. I have not replaced all of the damaged bird netting that is on top of the coop run. You should be able to see a good view of that now, but it is still there and it is still doing an effective job of keeping out predators. I am thinking that I may just end up doing like a solid roof over this when I do get to the point where I repair all this stuff. But anyway, that's what it looks like. And I almost forgot to mention it, but I didn't want to forget about the water system. I get asked a lot about what do I do when we have freezing conditions to keep all the water components from getting damaged. Quite frankly, I just drain it. I have a little valve down here that I open up and I drain everything in the lines. The barrel in our temperatures getting down to the high teens or upper 20s is usually never a problem. And as long as those other lines are empty, it's good. I just put a bucket out there for a few days until we get back into normal temperatures. And that same question I get about the freezing conditions on the chicken coop watering system and rainwater harvesting system, I also get on my house rainwater harvesting system. I just simply drain all of my downspouts and make sure there's no standing water in there to the point where it goes into the ground, just so that I don't have any problems with the PVC pipes freezing. And I'll probably show you some of the more tanks, the tank setup right now. And moving on over to the water tanks, this is the same issue with the pipes freezing. Those are my inlet pipes that put rainwater into my big rainwater tank. That's a 5,000 gallon one. I drain both of those. I have two outlets, one right at the base of those, and then one that is over on the other side of the house. They are pretty much all tip-top full of water since we got a bunch of rain before the snow. So anyway, that is looking real good on the rainwater harvesting front. Moving on over to the shop, you will see my culvert cistern that is totally full, and as well as the culvert cistern on the front of the house, which is totally full. And a little bit of an update on the shop roofing. I am still planning on replacing those front columns with 2 steel columns and a steel cross beam. But I'm just waiting for a little time so I can end up building some bracing to hold that little awning up while I do that. One of the reasons I haven't done that yet is because we've been having a bunch of winds. And we do get pretty violent winds up here, or pretty intense winds. And if you can see that right there, I have the travel trailer tied off to the ground and those columns in 3 places just to keep the winds from rocking it. I don't think the winds were strong enough to tip it, but you know, I had the ratchet straps, so why not? Moving on over to the travel trailer, you can see that is all full of snow. This was going to be the project next, which is to add some steps. I'm gonna start doing some of the security features on the travel trailer, but obviously I'm gonna have to wait a little bit for the outside portions. But let me show you the inside, because there's one bit of good news, is that everything is still holding water tight, and I guess you'll see a little bit of the beginnings of the kitchen. So inside the travel trailer, I am happy to report there is absolutely no leaks in any of the windows, seams, or anything like that. So that is definitely a good thing. This is the skeleton of what the eventual kitchen kind of island setup will be. It is just very basic, but it will eventually end up getting some drawers on this side, some traditional cabinet doors on this side, and then a sink, I don't know, somewhere there. This will get a backsplash. And I do have the front cabinets actually built. They just need to be painted in there, but I'm just waiting to put them up so I can finish the 12-volt wiring that is now only started in the battery box, but it is on its way and getting close. So I'm pretty excited about that. And before I take you in the shop, I guess while I'm still outside, I'll take you and show you what the playhouse is looking like with all the snow on it. I think it looks pretty cool. You can see all of the snow accumulating on the stairs and the roof and there's some snow even sticking on the climbing holds there. And believe it or not, the playhouse is all weather tight still. There's no leaks or anything in there. And you can just see all of my daughter's toys and all of those kinds of things. And now I'll take you in the shop so you can see the truth of what this shop really is most of the time. Everybody always talks about that the shop looks nice and organized. Well, you're about to see that it is definitely not. It is in full project mode. That is all sawdust. Before all of my videos, I usually just get the blower out and blow it all out. But the thing I really wanted to show you is right there. That is part of the upper cabinet assembly for the travel trailer. And here are the doors that will be mounted to that cabinet. They will be held in place with hidden hinges, and they will rest on the cabinet something like this. And after getting a coat of paint, they will look like all of the other cabinets in the trailer. And that is what the other side of the shop looks like during project mode. Just randomness everywhere, so definitely not as organized as I sometimes probably make it look. And here's a quick shot of what my front yard looks like with my gabion walls and all of my landscape plants covered in snow. And you will also see my other culvert cistern that's on the front side of my house right there, also covered in snow and tip-top full. So I think the last thing I will do is take you for a quick walk out to see the bees. Those who aren't familiar with that, it's a project I started probably 3 years ago where I caught some feral bees, put them in some makeshift scrap wood hives, and pretty much do no management. I harvest honey maybe once a year. Oh, actually there's a cool little barrel cactus topped with snow, kind of cool. So anyway, I don't really do much management on them. I just kind of let them be, pun intended, and come and take honey once a year, and that's pretty much it. I started with I think 4 hives, and I now have 2 hives because the other 2, you know, left. You know, maybe I wasn't providing them the good enough conditions that they wanted, or they just decided to leave. But it's been pretty successful for the amount of effort that I have put into it. All right, after about a 1/4 mile hike, I am finally to the bees. It seems to be that it has pretty much stopped snowing, although I believe the forecast called for snow throughout the day. So I don't know, maybe it'll start. I did speak to my in-laws, who are actually just up at those mountains back there. I don't know if it'll focus. But they have gotten 9.5 inches to this point. So here is one of the first hives that I built. It was all out of scrap wood, and honestly I don't remember what that bucket was from. I think that was from the last honey harvest I had, and I put the extra honey and wax here for them to feed off of it. And I'm not sure if there are any bees in there. So I'm sad to say it looks like I've lost another hive. But considering the effort that I have put into this project, I guess that's not bad. Anyway, I'll maybe show you what it looks like inside there, and then we'll check the other hive. So I checked on these bees about a month and a half ago, and they seem to be pretty healthy. And all this set of combs and bars is pretty darn heavy. And I'm seeing a bunch of bees down here at the bottom that looks like they might have recently died. We had a freeze into the low 20s. So I don't know, maybe that did it, or my poor management practices. I hate to say it, but that is probably the bulk of it. So let me go check the other hive now and see how that one's looking. So this is my last hive, and I just put my ear up to it and I can hear the bees in there. I saw one down here, and I actually lifted the side of it and it feels really, really heavy. So I'm guessing this one is still relatively healthy. So let me see if I can show you a couple clips, and other than that, I'm gonna leave them alone. And it looks to be that the second round of storms is coming in. I don't know if you can see that wall of clouds coming up over the mountains from the left, but on the radar it looks like another bout of snow is coming. So you got to see a bit of a real-time failure in regard to my beekeeping adventures. I had thought that there was going to be 2 hives still there because I had checked them a month and a half ago, but no, there was just 1. But I'm not too disappointed considering the effort that I put into this project over the years. I think 4 or 5 years. I'll have to look back at the videos and see. And I've gotten quite a bit of honey out of it. And in the event of that first hive, I'll probably just harvest that wax and I don't know, make some soaps or lip balm or whatever else you can make with wax. But let me get you back to the house and I'll let you guys go, and then I'll see you on a travel trailer video. Alright guys, well I hope that was interesting. It's not often that we get this kind of snowfall here in the desert. I thought it was kind of cool to see everything under snow when most of the times you see it under pretty good amounts of heat, and me walking around in short sleeves and shorts. Obviously I've warmed up a bit just for this outro. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, and we will probably see you next time, and that will almost definitely be a travel trailer video.